It's like we couldn't check anything. I'm jumping all over this cart trying to straighten it, and he never pulled in. Nothing broke. He comes off the track and he actually did pretty well. And I go, "How was your cart? How do you feel?" And he goes, "That's the best the cart's ever felt."
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course that's how it is, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh man. But yeah, hitting the rock, that reminded me of that story.
That's how we figured out one time with a guy that we needed to change the Ackerman on his cart. I think it might have been Paul Bonilla. He bent the steering shaft a little bit, and went in the first turn or whatever, and kept racing it. And he said that is the best it's ever felt. And we realized when he bent the steering shaft, it really didn't change much of anything. It just changed the Ackerman because of where it was bent.
Yeah.
So he put a new steering shaft in and put the Ackerman in the other position, and and he won the race. He's like, yeah, it's perfect. And that's how we learned that, is because the steering shaft was bent.
Yeah, because something was bent.
Yeah, crazy stories. Too many crazy stories.
Yeah, so I got one more question, and then I can let you get back to your vodka.
Oh no, I'm here, man. Oh, are we done?
No, we can keep going.
I'm good, man.
I mean, you did say 89 minutes because last time it was 91.
I know we're only at 45. We're halfway there.
All right, if you want to keep going, I can keep going.
Favorite kart track, driving tip, track food, tip as a promoter not to piss you off. Oh, that's a good one. Most
that's the one I was going to ask you. As a race promoter, what is the one thing that just boils your blood?
You know what's funny is I don't. My highs aren't very high and my lows aren't very low. I'm probably one of the most even-keeled people you'll ever meet. Now, that being said, if my blood boils, you don't want to be around me. I mean, my wife in 25 years or how long have you been together? 27 years. I'd ask her. We're coming up on 24 years being married here in a couple weeks, but been together for 27. 27 years, she's seen me mad twice. So blood boiling is not good. That's like nuclear. So that being said, there's things that annoy me for sure. One is, I suppose, when guys think that if they get wronged by an official, that by talking to me, I'm going to fix it, and that the only thing that fixes it, I don't think once Friday afternoon happens, the promoter's job is done, whether it be me or anybody else, right? Those that get in and start meddling with race calls are making a huge mistake. If they insert themselves into that argument or try to insert themselves into whether it be the steward's office or the tech department or the racetrack department, they're making a big mistake. So when guys come to me and are like, well, you need to fix this because your race director did this, I literally turn them right back to the race order our procedures, right? You can file a protest, or you can do this. There's an appeal process. There's X, Y, and Z. So come to me and think I'm just going to magically snap my fingers and overrule the guys that have been doing this for years and that I hired to do a job. That's never going to happen. But on the flip side, I don't take it personal. It's their job. I'm a storyteller, so bear with me on this one. A guy came to me one time and was screaming that, he didn't get the right call by the race director, and he's screaming at me. And I said, okay, great. Have a nice day. And he left, and the next morning he apologized. He said, I hope it didn't come off too rough. I was kind of a jerk. Don't take it personal. I said, I don't take it personal, because you got to realize that not one person showed up on the property this morning and said, I'm going to do a shitty job. Watch me. Right? Drivers drive the best they can, and the mechanics the best they can, and dads do the best they can, sometimes a little misguided, but, we'll talk about that a different day. Officials officiate the best they can. Me as a promoter, I do the best. Nobody there says, I'm going to screw up today, right? Now, my job as a promoter is I put all the pieces into play. I put the tent over the circus. The animals run the show. And so when the race team manager comes up to me and screaming at me, I don't take it personal, because it's his job to kind of try to push for his customers. I get that. But I turned to him, a guy that was doing that, I said, but you understand that we all have a job to do, and you understand what my job is? And he's like, what's that? My job is to listen smile, nod my head, and make you understand that I can't fix it. And as long as you understand that, we all understand each other. Anyway, yeah, I guess you're right. There's no problem. He just wanted it to go his way, right?
Yeah.
So when guys come and scream at the promoter because they didn't get their way, I mean, I wouldn't say it makes my blood boil. It probably makes other guys' blood boil, but their temperament's a little different than mine. But for sure, that could be annoying. But as long as they understand that I put them right back to the guy that they're pissed off at. And the other thing that actually, there's two things. Sorry, this is going to be a long one, but it is what it is.
There's three things. There's four things.
Exactly. When it's usually the dad. Sorry, dads. I'm a dad too. I have a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old in their rooms right now, working on their computers or laying in bed watching videos on YouTube. When the dads say, "You know how much I spent here?" Blah blah blah, and I literally have turned dads around and went, "Yeah. Look at this paddock filled with 140 drivers. You've spent as much as that guy and that guy and that guy and that guy and that." Like, if my guys made race calls by the size of the checkbook, all I'd ask for was your entry fee and a tax return, and we wouldn't even have to go to the track.
That's a good point.
So to bring up you know how much I've spent here? Yes, I know how much you spent here. I understand. Our entry fees are X, and the hotels are $100 a night, and you traveled, and you paid to be under that tent, and you got a mechanic. I know you've spent, and I appreciate that. But that is not a reason for me to try to get my official to overturn a call for your 14-year-old.
Yeah, that's a great point, and as I get older, I think that's a lot of the problems we have at the track with emotions, where people, it's an expensive hobby. It's not expensive racing. It's just an expensive hobby. And I think a lot of people, that's like the first thing on their mind, is the money. And so their kids out there, they get piled into, and instantly they just go, okay, well, there's $500 or there's $1,000. Oh shit, the cart's written off. Because, I mean, for the most part, we generally don't see people get hurt in our sport. It's very rare that someone's actually hauled off. So typically, an outsider might say, "Oh, that's so wrong. You're not thinking about your kid." It's like, well, it's not that we're not thinking about the kid. It's just the chance of them getting hurt in the sport is not as high as people would want to think. So instantly it just goes to the dollar sign. It's like, oh, my God, that's so much money. And then people are just like, they just snap.
Well, as long as you understand, and when I say understand, I understand. We deal with two of the most precious things to people. We deal with, obviously, master's classes notwithstanding, but you get the point. We deal with their children, and we deal with their checkbook.
Yeah.
Right? Those are two things that cause about the most emotion in people's lives, right?
Yeah.
So when things don't go right with either your child or your checkbook, you get emotional about it. And I get it and I understand it. So I just, like I said, my highs aren't too high, my lows aren't too low. So if people, you see me, you don't come to many of my races. It's always rainy. You come to, if I want, Sonoma, you come to. But I'm always out and about. Like I heard the story about other promoter. Oh, I can't find that guy. He's in his motorhome. Or I can't find that guy. He's somewhere else or he's meeting. I literally stand on the grid, or I'm walking the fence line. I walk into tech. I'm standing at the scales when you come up. I'm visible. So if you want to yell at me, bring it.
Yeah.
Right? But understand, I'm not going to feed into your anger. I'm not going to yell back at you. I just don't do it. And I'll figure it out what's wrong. I'll figure out that you just need to vent, or I'll figure out that you don't understand the rules, or you felt something went wrong and you were wrong. That's fine. We'll solve it. But I'm not going to stand there and yell with you, because that doesn't solve anything. And I understand you're emotional, because I have kids too, and I have a checkbook too. So we're all in the same boat here, right? It's just people get emotional.
Yeah.
And then the last one, this may not come across great on a podcast. but I'm going to tell it anyway because I
I'm just
giggle
going to
about
cut
it.
out what I want and use that for my sample.
Perfect. Because I've said this to Dad, and one dad got really mad at me, and the other 3 laughed their ass off when I said it. So I've had dads come up to me, and dads, you know who does this. We've been at a race, and their kid didn't get a call, or we missed a call, and it didn't go their way. I get it. We make mistakes. But when the dad comes up and screams, you know what, you guys hate my kid. And I turned to him, and I've turned to 4 different dads and said, we don't hate your kid. We hate you.
I don't know if I should be laughing.
One dad got really angry. The other 3 had that pause and then laughed because they understand.
Yeah.
You know what? Every dad thinks that our race officials knows who all those helmets are. You know what? They have no idea who your kid is. They really don't. They don't know who X, Y, or Z. They don't know that your guy has won 15 national championships or your guy's in his very first race. They don't know. You know why? They're standing in the middle of the track watching 30 angry bees buzz around them at 65 miles an hour. All they see is number 263 in a yellow helmet. I just made that number up and that helmet up. So if there's a 263 with a yellow helmet, I'm sorry. The point is, they're literally making calls off of numbers and helmet color. They have no idea who these kids are. And my guys, actually, on purpose, don't look at race results so they don't know the numbers and the names. So they can't go, oh, Jason Berry just punted that guy, right? They don't do that. They literally know numbers and helmet colors. So when they say you hate my kid, odds are they really have no idea who your kid is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They're not supposed to know who your kid is because then it becomes emotional for them too.
I don't know what's worse to say. You hate the dad that's yelling at you, or you just don't know who their kid is.
I know. I ruined every dad, right? I'm just saying. I'm a dad too. Fortunately, my kids, fortunately probably for my own sanity, both of my kids end up being ball sport kids. So, oddly enough, my 19-year-old son got in a kart for the first time in 10 years yesterday. But he's been out of it forever, never really wanted to race for a little tiny bit. So I never had to deal with it from that side of the fence. But I dealt with it for sure as a ball sport dad. So I know all the stories. I know all the emotions. I know what it's like to be a dad.
Yeah, my daughter, she's done 3 laps in a kart, maybe. I think 2 of them I pushed her with the engine off.
Yeah, perfect.
She's
that sounds like what I can handle right now. I'm good. It's what I can handle right now. Can you push me around the track too?
Yeah, exactly. And she's a swimmer, and it's like I find myself I'm the junior dad at the swim meet. It's like, hey, Jason, you got to sit down. You can't yell at your kid. It's like, well, I'm not yelling at her. I'm encouraging her. It's like, she can't hear you underwater. It's like, yeah, but I'm kind of doing this for me.
It's hilarious you say that because I will make remarks to dads when I'm standing on the fence and they're screaming, and I go, we can't hear you out there in your helmet.
Yeah.
So I will say the exact same thing. Exactly.
But yeah, like you said, that's just that being a dad or being a parent. It's like you want the best for your kid, and it's
of course
it's so emotional.
Actually, you know what? I'll tell you one thing that does make my blood boil. You know what? And it goes back to juniors. Here you go. The thought that some dads get that their 13-year-old is perfect, but that other 13-year-old they're racing with is somehow the son of Satan. We've all, right?
Well, I'm glad you're talking about my perfect child. I appreciate that.
But you know what I mean? Like the kids are going out and they're scrapping, and somehow somehow they just look at that other kid and think that kid's dad or that kid's mechanic has taught him to be dirty and he's trying to kill my child, and my child is an angel. And it's just 2 kids going at it on the racetrack, as 2 13-year-old kids are, right? And it's like, how did you make that leap that 13-year-old is